Hey there, Gates Chili. It's Dr. Mitch Ball back with episode 3 of A Bit of Budget. This week, we're talking about where the money comes from. Last week, we talked about the district spending plan and how we allocate resources to benefit students. Today, we're at Paul Road Elementary School to talk about the district's sources of revenue. And another JA economics student is here to help. Let's toss it to Paul Road alum Kelsey for more.
Thanks, Dr. Ball, and hello fellow Spartans. My name is Kelsey and I'm a senior here at Gates Chili High School. Revenue is just another way to say income. Even though the district can't make a profit like private companies, it does receive money from several different sources to help pay for expenses. As you heard in episode 2, our expenses add up to a current budget proposal of more than $128 million. Remember, this is the cost of funding instruction and keeping the lights on. In New York State, that revenue, or income, has to match the projected expenses. Just like the cash in your wallet, you can't spend more than you have. Gates Chili has several streams of revenue to fund programming and services. The two largest are state funds, known as state aid, and local property taxes from homes in the Gates and Chili communities. Those local taxes make up nearly 47% of our revenue. That comes to just under $60 million. State aid accounts for a little over 43%, or more than $55 million.
The next source of revenue comes from taxable purchases in Monroe County. Things like a trip to the grocery store or buying a new computer. That sales tax makes up about $4 million, which is a little over 3% of all revenue. Moving on to pilots, or payments in lieu of taxes, these are negotiated with the Monroe County Economic Development Agency. Pilot agreements are used to bring businesses into the area and pull in just over $2.5 million. This accounts for 2% of our revenue.
Other sources like Medicaid payments, interest earnings, admissions, fees, and tuition make up around 2% of all revenues. The last two sources are carryover funds, known as appropriated fund balance and reserves. If we don't have enough from other sources to cover our costs, that's when we may need to pull funds from those reserves. It's like borrowing from your savings account. We want to try to limit using this type of revenue.
Luckily, in this year's proposed budget, those revenue sources make up a little under 3% of our estimated revenues. This brings our total revenue to $128,552,415, which is equal to our proposed expenditures. Later this week, students will help me break down our two biggest and most complex areas of revenue. In talking about state aid and local property taxes, we'll show you how the tax cap plays a role. I may not be able to open a carton of milk, but together we can make sure that next school year moves in the right direction.